Hey everybody, my name is Vito, and today I'm going to show you a still life painting that I did recently, and I am going to walk you through the process that I used. By the way, this is not the process that I usually use for things, for paintings, but for this particular setting it was perfect. And I am going to talk about some general tips on digital painting, a little bit of my thoughts, but don't expect there to be a lot of helpful things because I usually just ramble on about stuff that interests me or stuff that I'm thinking about. So with that said, I also want to apologize if my English is bad because I haven't been speaking English for probably months, and yeah, I should probably, I don't know, I just don't have anyone to talk English to, and it's kind of weird if I talk to myself in English. So anyways, I do listen to a lot of English videos and instructional videos like painting tutorials or just live streams, all that stuff. So yeah, my grammar shouldn't be too bad. My pronunciation though, not so sure about that. Anyways, as you can see, I'm starting out with a sketch, and I soon lose my patience. I'm a very impatient person, but you know, if you want to draw and paint, you have to be patient, kind of. But being impatient is also an advantage, I feel, if you can beat yourself to actually draw and paint hours on end. Is that even, can you say that, on end? I heard that somewhere. Anyways, then it's an advantage because you want to get there the fastest possible way, and you kind of have this urge of trying out new things because they might be faster. So right here, I'm like, damn, this looks pretty shitty. And I don't want to spend hours. I mean, obviously, if you spend hours on this sketch, if you set up like proper vanishing points and stuff, then you can make this perfect. But I didn't want to spend hours on it. So I'm blocking this whole scene out in Blender, and I'm using very, very primitive forms. I had some problems here because I still had the shortcuts of my Photoshop. Yeah, and I was like, what the hell's going on? I don't remember the shortcuts being like this. And then I was like, oh yeah, right. So I just blocked them out in Blender, and even with the shortcut problem, as you could see, it's pretty fast. I'm back in Photoshop now, and I'm just sketching over them. So I basically use Blender as a free source for the vanishing points. Not only that, it gave me the exact object, so that's great. And I recommend if you want to get better at 2D painting, I do recommend learning 3D because it's a great advantage to have. Also, Blender is the software of my choice, just because I learned it a while ago and I don't see any reason to switch programs. And in my opinion, I have used 3ds Max, and I have used Maya, even though I didn't use Maya too much. It's, I don't know, going from Blender to Maya, I was like, where is everything? And it's like, I don't know, didn't like Maya that much, but I know that it's a great program. Blender is free, by the way, and in my opinion, 3ds Max and Blender are very similar as, you know, what in terms of like functions. And so I would recommend you to try out Blender because it's a free program, so you can just download it and mess around, watch some tutorials and do stuff like that. Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about the actual painting part, because from now on it's just my usual process, or not even. I used to use those masks all the time. By the way, I have the layer panel on the other monitor that I use, but I will bring it in on this monitor so you can see what I'm doing. So by the way, I think I failed to mention that this whole painting took me 2 hours, just if you're interested. So right here, I added 2 layers, and one is for the cube and one is for the pen sharpener. Oh, I didn't even say what those objects were. So the cube, the Rubik's Cube, you can probably tell that it's a Rubik's Cube already. The pen sharpener, I don't know, if you don't use LED holders, then you probably don't even know what this thing is, even when it's finished. But as I said, it's a LED holder sharpener. I don't even know how to say that. I don't even know what this thing's called. I just call it pen sharpener, even though that's not correct, because it's a pencil sharpener, LED holder sharpener thingy. So basically, a LED holder is, in my opinion, the most superior type of pencil, because it doesn't have the disadvantage of a normal pencil that it gets shorter, like the more you use it. And then it doesn't have any wood, it's just the pure lead and a lead holder. So you don't really have to sharpen it if you're drawing like in a smart way. And also, it doesn't have the disadvantage of a mechanical pencil, being that the lead is super thin. and that you can hardly draw like actual like renderings. That's not a word. Renders. Like, of course it's possible, and I think if you are like me, for example, I have only been drawing with pencil for years and years before I even started painting digitally, and I used lead holder. I used mechanical pencils for a long time, and I have done some renderings with that thing, and it was a pain in the ass. Like, to get a big area and a very Jesus, how do you say that? In like a perfect gray, that's freaking hard, or at least it's very time consuming. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. So that's what that thing is. It's a pencil sharpener for those lead holder thingies, which, by the way, I totally recommend. They are very cheap, or somewhat cheap, affordable, and they are great. So, what else? For the brush I use, everybody's always interested in the brushes, even though it's not that important. But saying that, everybody says, oh, the brushes aren't important, but I've always felt like the brushes are pretty important. Obviously it won't make you a better artist, and it won't give you skills that you don't already have, but it will improve your painting, your speed, and probably your process too. So I just use the soft round, the hard round brush. I use the soft round too, and I use the smudge tool occasionally. So if I want like a super soft edge right next to a super hard edge, I'll probably use the smudge tool. If I want a super soft edge, like super soft, if I want haze or something, then I would use the soft round brush. All my brushes that I use have transfer on them, so on pen pressure. So that means that if I press harder, it gets more opaque, and if I press less hard, then it gets less opaque. I don't really mess with the size jitter or the size sensitivity, pressure sensitivity thingy a lot, because I have a Nostromo, Razer Nostromo, and I recommend that to everybody because it's great. You have the scrolling wheel, which I use for controlling the size. So if I scroll up, it gets bigger, I think, and if I scroll down, it gets smaller. Yeah, that's a pretty huge tip I can give you, that you should probably use a keyboard that is programmable so that you can have one key do something. I use as I said, the Razer Nostromo, and that is pretty cool because it's because it's it's like a one-handed keyboard, and it's very comfortable, and it's fully programmable. And as I said, it has this nice scroll wheel. I have first heard of it from Darken. He had like a blog entry about it a while ago, and then I didn't really buy one, but then Alex Negria said he uses one, and I was like, damn, I need that thing. So yeah, I don't regret getting one, so I would totally recommend you to get one. Anyways, let's talk about this painting. So as you just saw, I just did the stickers. I tried to be efficient, and now I'm just painting. From now on, it's just pure painting basically, because I have this base, and it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you don't like trace over the photo or anything. But if you want to practice, it depends on what you want to practice. If you want to practice efficiency, then try to be as smart as possible. If you want to practice drawing and painting, like craftsmanship, just draw it all. Use what I just said in the beginning. Use the like exact vanishing points, use vanishing lines, and all that, which in my opinion is a pain in the ass. But I mean, if you don't have a lot of experience in that field, then totally do that. But if you just want to practice, for example, the reflection and the stickers, or if that was my objective, then I wouldn't even bother with this whole thing. I would just try to dirtily put some base there so I can practice the reflection. So it always depends on what you are trying to achieve. So let me talk a little bit about painting itself. It's very, very, very different. I mean, digital painting, it's very different than drawing. I mean, traditional painting is too, but I'm talking specifically about digital painting here. So if you are like most people, if you already have some experience in drawing and then you're trying to digitally paint, it's going to be a pain in the ass. And I know that because as I said, I had like, I only drew and I drew. I was pretty good at it. I mean, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I wasn't that bad. So when I first got my tablet, I was amazed by by the technology, basically, which was an advantage. Nowadays, I feel that, I mean, no, what am I talking about? I didn't know about tablets, let's just put it that way. So I got my first tablet, which was an Intuos 4M, and I was like, wow, this really works, and it's so great. And I didn't really notice that I totally sucked because I was just amazed at the technology. So yeah, I sucked for a long time, and then I just watched tons of videos and I started sucking less, and that's where I'm at right now. I suck less. So this was a lot of fun. I wouldn't have thought that drawing the stickers would be so much fun. But yeah, I actually got some satisfaction out of it. That's always good. What else? Digital painting tips. General painting tips. The biggest tip that I can give you, if you are just starting out or if you're just looking for a way to improve and you're not sure how, the biggest tip, and it's totally, if there is a secret to digitally painting, this is the secret. Fucking draw on or paint one painting for freaking months. Or, you don't have to go that hardcore on it, but if you want to finish, or if you want to paint an illustration and you feel like you're not good enough to paint that illustration, try to do it. Like, try to do that exact illustration, get your references, and just draw on it for, even if it takes you like 300 hours in total, and at the end it's okay, then do it, because it's so important that people finish their paintings, and it's so important that they learn to spend a very, very long time on their paintings, because I see a lot of beginners just doing speed paintings, and I used to do that when I was just starting out. I would only do paintings that took me at most probably 4 hours. And then I remember the first painting I did that took me days, and it was the biggest improvement that I ever did. Wow, that was crazy. So I totally recommend that to you. I can't recommend it enough to do that. It's super important to just beat a painting to death. And be cruel to the painting. If you, for example, if you drew 6 people and they're standing in a street and they are looking all epic and stuff, and then you're drawing the first person and you're the pose is okay, so you're painting him, and after let's say 15 hours of work, you realize the pose is not that good, it could be better, then fucking erase that whole guy, erase the 15 hours that you just worked on him, and start over with that guy. And that totally helps. That's a huge advantage if you can do that, because you start not caring so much about the painting in terms of hours. You stop caring how much you worked on it, and it just becomes this project that you work on. It doesn't and it doesn't matter what you're working on. It's just it's kind of satisfying, because you know that you do the best that you possibly can, and that it's actually the best of your abilities, and not just, oh man, this guy isn't that good, but I spent so long on him. It's great. So yeah, I should stop rambling about that. So yeah, but there's nothing special going on in this painting. It's just me painting, basically. Yeah, the ground or the table looks nothing like my table, my desk rather. I put some stone texture in the background later. I mean, I'll probably do it pretty soon, but my desk looks nothing like that, and I only did it because I was kind of fed up with this painting, because I learned everything that I wanted to learn, or at least I did everything that I wanted to do with this, and I know it's not perfect, and I know I should probably have worked more on this to make it look good, but it wasn't really my goal to make it look good. It was my goal to kind of improve on lighting and stuff like that. So Yeah, there I've messed around with some filters, but didn't work. And as you can see, there's a stone texture downloaded from cgtextures.com. I'm not sponsored or anything, it just sounded like that. Download it from cgtextures.com. Oh yeah, download it today. No, but you should totally go log into CG Textures because it's a free website with free textures and high quality textures. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I just put some kind of background in because I didn't want to spend so much time on painting it, but also I didn't want it to look like it's just one like color. And later I tried to do something to it, make it look a little bit better, but only for a couple of minutes. So as you can see, the lead sharpener gets a little bit of work. And then the painting is pretty much done. The Rubik's Cube is, I think it's already done. Damn, there's so much wrong with it. Shit, doesn't matter though. Yeah, oh, the cable, I was so lazy with the cable. Doesn't matter at all, doesn't matter. So yeah, I would say if you have any questions or any topics that I can make videos about, any wishes or tips that you can give me, then that would be great. I totally appreciate if you like this video, or even if you dislike it and tell me a reason how I can improve or why you didn't like the video so I can make a better one. Yeah, that's cool. And thank you for watching. Here's the finished painting, and I hope I will see you in my next video. So bye.